भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। ॐ अज्ञानातिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथं वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णविस्तरभूतले प्रभुपादतिप्रिय श्रीगिरिराजाय स्वामिने सुभद्ररामदास बिहारिभ्यं भक्तिव्यश्चात्मदायिने। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णविस्तरभूतले श्रुते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे। ईवाचारं पङ्गुं नमयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं। Hare Krishna. So we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 5. So we'll revise text 14. Lord Rishabhadev's teachings. So this is instructions of Lord Rishabhadev to his sons. So how to practice devotional service. So, O my sons, text 13, O my sons, you should accept a highly elevated Paramahamsa, a spiritually advanced spiritual master. In this way, you should place your faith and love in me, the Supreme Personal Godhead. You should detest sense gratification and tolerate the duality of pleasure and pain, which are like the seasonal changes of summer and winter and the rain, right? Try to realize the miserable condition of living entities who are miserable even on the higher planetary systems. Philosophically inquire about the truth, then undergo all kinds of austerities and penances for the sake of devotional service. Give up the endeavor for sense enjoyment and engage in the service of the Lord. Listen to discussions about the Supreme Person Godhead and always associate with devotees. Chant about and glorify the Supreme Lord and look upon everyone equally on the spiritual platform. Give up enmity and subdue anger and lamentation. Abandon identifying the self with the body and the home and practice reading the revealed scriptures. Live in a secluded place and practice the process by which you can completely control your life, air, mind and senses. Have full faith in the revealed scriptures, the Vedic literatures, and always observe celibacy. Perform your prescribed duties and avoid unnecessary talks. Always thinking of the Supreme Person Godhead, acquire knowledge from the right source. Thus practicing Bhakti Yoga, you will patiently and enthusiastically be elevated in knowledge and will be able to give up the false ego. Hare Krishna. Oh, we've got company. Can't believe this.
I was thinking maybe we are two of us.
That's why I don't cancel, because I don't know who will come. I have seen, all the years I have seen the devotees just come. So that's why I don't cancel. I mean, you have taste for hearing Krishna Katha. So you're braving this rain. Yeah. So thus practicing Bhakti Yoga, you will patiently and enthusiastically be elevated in knowledge and will be able to give up the false ego. Sorry, I just need something here. I need another chadar. So, we're just revising where we were last week. So, text 14. So, as I have advised you, my dear sons, you should act accordingly. Be very careful, right? Be very careful, meaning that devotional service or the process of yoga is not something that you do casually. It's not, we keep on saying it's not time pass, right? It is very serious work. So, you should be very careful. By these means, you will be freed from the ignorance of the desire for fruitive activity, and the knot of bondage in the heart will be completely severed. For further advancement, you should also give up the means. That is, you should not become attached to the process of liberation itself. Yeah, so this is like a little mysterious, like what Rishabdev is saying, that you should do this, meaning there's it means, and then here, for further advancement, you should also give up the means. So, like let's say we take the very basic, the first level in spiritual realization. Very first level is Varnashram Dharma. Alright? But we have studied again and again that Varnashram Dharma is not the end. It's just a means to an end. Right? So when we have done properly our duties according to our Varna and our Ashrama, so we graduate from one level of Ashrama to the next. Right? And it may take many lifetimes. we may stay in Varnashram Dharma for many, many lifetimes because we have attachment for fruity work. So the system of Varnashram is making us become more and more qualified because the center of Varnashram is to offer the fruits of our work to Krishna, Vishnu, remember? So this is why Varnashram has value. If we are simply observing externally the system of Varnashram, but there is no Krishna in the center, very soon we'll become atheists. Right? Krishna. I'm just so glad all of you have come. Yeah, so so this is the first level. I'm speaking about, like, human civilization starts with Varnashram Dharma. All right? So then comes, different levels, whether we are Karmakand, because within Varnashram there's Karmakand, right? And then beyond will come Jnana. All right? Jnana is beyond Varnashram. Because the Jnani have understood all this is simply nonsense. Right? So he's just like fed up. He said, whatever we do, like we've just read. Where did we read this? The summer and winter seasons, right? So the Jnani thinking, why should I go through so many summers and so many winters and have to tolerate? Right? So he said, it's not worth it. So he doesn't get involved in family life. So therefore automatically there's no vanaprastha. So he's directly like sannyasi. Alright? But, so here, so this is what should be understood here. I'll read it again. By these means, so whatever has been described here, by these means, you will be free from the ignorance of the desire for fruitive activity. So the root cause of our existence in this material world is desire for fruitive activity. What's the meaning of fruitive activity?
Getting the fruit for yourself.
Yes. Yeah. So if there is no benefit, we are not going to do. Right? Now, there's this land, okay? So if I think that land, if I'm going to develop it, I'm going to grow fruits or vegetables or whatever, and I will get something from it, then I'll be interested to put in my time and energy. And say, anyway, it's for somebody else, so I don't care, because I'm not going to get anything from it, right? So, anyway, I don't want to go too much in all this detail, but just this point about how, unless I have something to benefit from a particular work, I will not work. All right, this is the meaning of desire for fruitive activity. All right, but here, so the more we have that attitude, see, the point is that when we are in the material world, everybody has same mentality, right? So therefore, we don't feel inspired to do any work. Whereas, when it is, okay, we will all work together because Krishna has told us we must do this work, right? Even maintaining the family. Why is somebody interested in maintaining the family? Because it is the order of the Supreme Lord, right? Viva Samskar. It is the order of the Supreme Lord. If you don't go to that Viva Samskar, then you're living by yourself. Then you're whimsical, right? So this is not within the Varnashram system, all right? So, whatever we are doing is because we want to satisfy Krishna. So even if there are difficulties within whatever work we may be doing, we say, no, it's my duty. I must do. Who has given this duty? Krishna has given. That's why I'm doing. All right. So by these means, you will be free from the ignorance of the desire for fruitive activity. So meaning that now, I remove my own desires for fruitive activity. When I remove this, then automatically there's no need to follow a system to remove the ignorance of fruitive activity. You understand?
Then this is niskam.
Yeah, there's no, because now you have reached that point where you no longer want, all the goodies of material life. You're not interested anymore. Therefore, the means is no longer required. Alright? So, meaning Varnashram now, we can remove this. So, then come the next level, which is on Jnana. Alright? Now, but with Jnana now, so Prabhupada explains, let me see where it was. Yeah, okay, Jnana. So this is the second section now. The idea is to enter into the Parabhakti, the transcendental devotional service of the Lord. To attain this, one must analyze one's existence. So this is Jnana. So, okay, we are in Varnashram, but everybody knows that they are not happy in Varnashram. Right? Everybody knows. You're in family life, then you're, Vanaprasth. So, then even being a sannyasi, doesn't matter who you're, brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha, sannyasi, everybody is suffering. Doesn't matter who you may be. But most suffering is in family life. Most suffering is in family life. Alright? So, when intelligence starts to awaken, right? Meaning now I start to analyze, why am I doing all this, and life after life I'm doing the same thing? Right? It's not ending. Life after life, again you will, like we read about Daksha. Remember, Daksha had a goat head, right? Then he went through so many millenniums of tapasya, then he took birth again at the Prachetas, right? He took sannyas. Alright, he became a sannyasi last life, and again he comes back as a grihastha. So it's not easy. Alright? It's not easy to give up that desire for grihastha life. But here, what is being discussed here, somebody who's done with it. So what is he doing? He's analyzing. He's thinking that what is my existence? Who am I? I'm soul that is completely mixed up with the material body. Right? Like milk and water we said last week. Right? Milk and water, it's mixed. When you look, you find it's milk, but actually there is water mixed up. So the Jnani is somebody who's analyzing, and he's checking out. He's saying, who am I? What is my situation? Am I this body? Why is it that this body is causing so much pain? Why is it that other people are able to inflict so much pain on my subtle body, if not my gross body? Right? So, analysis of existence. So, to analyze this, to attain this, one must analyze one's existence. But when one is actually engaged in devotional service, he should not bother seeking out knowledge. One should not be simply intent on consulting books. Alright, jnana, you go on reading and you never reach any conclusion. So what's the use? You spend in your whole life only reading books. You couldn't find what is the purpose of life. How miserable it is. How miserable it is, right? You go on reading this book, that book, this class, you attend that class, this society, that society, this organization, that organization, you came to no conclusion. Right? You still can't figure out who you are, what you're supposed to do. Alright? So, here Rishabdev is saying that for further advancement, you should also give up the means. That is, you should not become attached to the process of liberation itself. So, okay, now, let's say you have read, all of us in India, everybody knows, right, that they are not the body, the soul. Everybody knows?
Yes.
How many of us act on that? That we are not the... right? Almost nobody, right? Nobody. Everybody acts fully as if they are the body. All right. So meaning that if you start to act according to the instructions given in the books, right, then you have reached the perfection. Meaning those books that is telling you you are not the body, you are the soul. These are the books for the jnanis. But those books, Prabhupada is explaining this in the purport. Those literatures that is telling you how to engage in Krishna's service, this is beyond jnana. And it is not only a process of liberation, but it is also the end itself. Bhakti, jnana is a means to an end. Karma Kand is a means to an end. Karma Yoga also is a means to an end. Ashtanga Yoga also is a means to an end. But Bhakti Yoga is not only a means, it is also the end itself. Are you able to follow this? You understand this, Amrita?
And means what like?
You want to love Krishna. And when you love Krishna, what will you do when you love Krishna? You want, yes, you want to serve Krishna. How do you serve Krishna? Yeah, what do you do? Yes, yes. All right. And these 9 processes, they are the means for you to awaken love for Krishna. All right? These are the means by which you start developing love for Krishna. And when the love will develop, more you want to read about him, more you want to talk about him, better cooking you will do, right? Everything, all your sadhana will become first class. Correct. You follow? Whereas the other books that is telling you about, you are not the body, you are a soul. See, Srimad Bhagavatam, a lot is about Varnashram, right? A lot, isn't it? Yeah, a lot of it is on Varnashram. But at least the first 9 cantos is a lot about, like how you are not the body, you are a soul, who is the Supreme Lord. It's all tattva, right? Understanding material nature, creation. Now, so much will come on geography. Believe me, reading this Bhagavatam, I just started roaming on internet to look where's Ganga, where's Yamuna, where's Gangotri, where is, so many geographies given, right? I want to say, real, where the Saptarishi, where did they do tapasya? Where did the Pandavas, they went, to heaven from the mountains? Where is it? And it's real. It's geography, right? But you're going to just stay there, right? Gradually, Bhagavatam will take us out from the material world, right? Then where you would want to focus more, your attention will be on Krishna Leela, right? Yes, so yeah, so the Srimad Bhagavatam systematically make us go through this detachment. So is that clear?
Yes.
So this is the meaning here. One should not be simply intent on consulting books, but should simultaneously execute the spiritual master's order. Yathopadesham. Mystic power should be achieved to enable one to give up the material conception. But when one actually engages in devotional service, one doesn't need to practice the mystic yoga system. So this again, this mystic yoga, meaning yam, niyam, asan, pranayam, and so on. So this is what is meant. See, if you do not practice the regulative principles that is prescribed in any yoga system, you won't have the determination or the enthusiasm to follow the principles. Just like list is given in the previous text. Abandon, this is text 13. Give up enmity and subdue anger and lamentation. Abandon identifying the self with the body and the home and practice reading the revealed scriptures. Okay, this is now jnana. Alright, live in a secluded place and practice the process by which you can completely control your life air, mind and senses. Have full faith in the revealed scriptures, the Vedic literatures, and always observe celibacy. Alright, so this is the yoga process. Meaning in the yoga process, I'm speaking Ashtanga Yoga. There is no Grihastha ashram in Ashtanga Yoga. You have to be complete sannyasi. Otherwise, you cannot perform. Maybe you have been, like we've seen all these Maharaj, Prithu, Priyavrat. They were in Grihastha life, but then once they have moved out, they're practicing complete celibacy. Alright? So, because this is required for us to be able to distinguish between the body and soul. So mystic power should be achieved to enable one to give up the material conception. Alright. See, truly speaking, unless you have mystic power, you cannot see the difference between body and soul. True? Right? Or you're going to take a magnifying glass and say, where's the soul in the body? Or I'm going to take a telescope and find, where's the soul where's the super soul in your heart? How will I find out? Right? You need mystic power to be able to distinguish that you are not the body but you are the soul. And the method has been given in the previous verse. By practicing celibacy, by practicing yam, niyam, all those 4 relative principles, but at the end celibacy is 100% compulsory. Otherwise you cannot realize that you are not the body, you are the soul. Alright. Alright. Yeah, pratyahar meaning that now you give up all sense gratification. All types of sense gratification. The point is that one can give up the practice of yoga, but devotional service cannot be given up. Because what's left for you? You give up devotional service, right? What's left for you? Nothing. What's left for the soul? Who's hankering for relationship, for pleasure, for something to do, right? As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, Atmaramas Chamunayo Nirgrantha api urukrame kurvanti ahetukim bhaktim itham bhuta guno harihi. Even those who are liberated, Atmaram, must always engage in devotional service. One may give up the practice of yoga when one is self-realized. What does that mean? When one is self-realized? Not only samaj, not only he knows, right? Yeah, he has realized. He's not only heard it, but he has actually realized. How does he realize it? He has what? Mystic power. All right, mystic power. Yeah. So what is it? Even those who are liberated Atmaram must always engage in devotional service. One may give up the practice of yoga when one is self-realized, but at no stage can one give up devotional service. All of the activities for self-realization, including yoga and philosophical speculation, may be given up, but devotional service must be retained at all times. So this yoga system, Ashtanga Yoga, is a mechanical system by which the soul is propelled, right? There is this Kundalini Shakti, right? That pushes up where's the soul? In the heart, right? In the heart. So this yoga system, it pushes the soul out of the body, right? We've read that Bhagavad Gita and other places, right? It can break through the
Not always it goes from there. Right?
Yeah, it can go through the eyes or the mouth. But the yogis usually they push it from the head. Yeah. All right. And they choose where they want to go. So it's a mechanical system. Like we found out, who did this? We read, who did this? Among the emperors, who did it? Yes, Prithu Maharaj. Prithu Maharaj, even while living, all right? He was still living, so that he died. He didn't die. He voluntarily, he removed his soul, right? And he left. Voluntarily, he left the body, right? Then his wife, Queen Archie, she followed behind him, right? So this is the system.
When the child is born,
Yes, very, very soft, very soft, very, very soft, yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
And they only say take care of.
हम तेल डाल के हमेशा ये
उसको
करते हैं.
मजबूत बनाते हैं और इसीलिए सर संभालते हैं बच्चों का.
Yeah.
Also, in one of the class, where the Shika is kept, no? That is the most vital part. That is why the brahmacharis just shave their head, but then the Shika is there. Certain portion of the hair is there because
Yeah.
that is very important.
तो ये बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है.
All right, so it's clear what is the meaning of this verse. As I have advised you, my dear sons, you should act accordingly. Be very careful. By these means, you will be free from the ignorance of the desire for fruitive activity, and the knot of bondage in the heart will be completely severed. For further advancement, you should also give up the means. Meaning, don't just sit, be the jnani reading books and do no seva, right? So even if we are in Varnashram Dharma, don't just be attached to being in Varnashram Dharma, right? That's why the gopis, right? The gopis are glorified because even though they are in household life, they had the courage, the enthusiasm to serve Krishna. And they face all types of criticism, right? And the wives of the Brahmanas also. Right? So they were in Karma Kand. Their husbands were in Karma Kand. But these ladies, the Brahmana's wife, they have heard so much about Krishna, right? Hearing. They became attracted to him. All right. And who did they hear from? The Brahmana's wives. Who did they hear from? Oh, the Brahmanas. All of us have to go and read Krishna book, right? From where? Who? How did they hear about Krishna? The husbands are all karma kandis. So how did they hear about Krishna? Uddhav?
No.
You know how they heard? You remember Krishna, the fruit sellers?
Okay. from the villages that
The fruit sellers who are like Aborigine women, right? They move from village to village, right? So remember how Krishna, right? That so the fruits, yeah. So all these ladies who go selling fruits from one village to another village, so they came to the Brahmana's house also to sell fruits. And what are they talking about? Krishna. Krishna's beauty, not mercy. Krishna's beauty, sweetness. Because all these Aborigine women fell in love with baby Krishna, right? And so they kept on telling about Krishna. So their gurus are not their husbands. Their gurus are the Aborigine women. Alright. So they heard and they became so attached to Krishna. Let's say infatuated, okay? They became so infatuated with Krishna that they dared disobey their husbands. So this is what I'm illustrating here, is how they gave up the means. Alright? They gave up the means because they have achieved the goal. In text 15. Putram च शिष्यं च नृपो गुरुर्वा मल्लोककामो मदनुग्रहार्थ इत्थं विमन्युरनुशिष्यत तच्च नायोजयत् कर्मसु कर्ममूढान् कं योजयन्मानुजोरर्थं लभ्येत Nipatayannastadrisham hi garte. If one is serious, oh my God, just see how it starts. If one is serious about going back home, back to Godhead, he must consider the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Summum Bonum and chief aim of life, Mad Anugraha Artham. We must consider that the mercy of the Supreme Lord is very much desirable. If he is a father instructing his sons, a spiritual master instructing his disciples, or a king instructing his citizens, he must instruct them as I have advised, without being angry. He should continue giving instructions even if his disciple, son or citizen is sometimes unable to follow his order. Alright, we get irritated, right? You're telling and the son is not listening, the citizen is not listening, the disciple is not, you get irritated. No, he's not just not listening, not doing. And here, Rishabdev is saying, without being angry. Without being angry, you should continue giving instructions. Why? Why should not become angry, should continue to give instruction? Why? Why? Very practical thing, right?
Yeah, because not everyone would understand. Some might be wise, some might be ignored, and some might be this. So obviously they might come up with different questions, and people do get upset when somebody doesn't follow.
Your own son, your own disciple. Here, this is not somebody, outside. We are speaking of sons, disciples, citizens, meaning you are responsible for them.
Citizens. So not all citizens might...
No, the king is instructing the citizen, okay? Because the son, the disciple, the citizens, they are so dumb and dull. From time From time immemorial. Right? All of us, right? From time immemorial, we have been spending our life in this material world doing everything that we're not supposed to do. So we are covered, right? We're covered with millions and millions of layers of dirt and dust, desires. So, instruction of Lord Rishabhdev, do not become angry, do not lose patience. And beside that, the karma that we have accrued, that karma blocks the intelligence. Right? So therefore, it is such a responsibility to be a father, to be a spiritual master, to be a king. It's huge, super huge responsibility. And here King Rishabhdev is saying, don't be angry, continue to give the instructions. Because you don't know when. You don't know when that soul may, okay, what are you saying? My God, who wants to be in this world? And being a father, being a guru, or being a king, who wants to be in this material world? I mean, we've taken that position, right?
Matter in the classroom also, when you are teaching again and again, every day, you have to give the same instructions to the students.
Yeah. So here, this is what King Rishabhdev is saying. He must instruct them as I have advised. Without being angry, he should continue giving instructions, even if his disciple, son or citizen, is sometimes unable to follow his order. That one time I have told, oh, you didn't do? Repeat. Right? I told you chant, doesn't want to chant. Give a pose, then again chant. Right? Catch the opportunity. See how you're suffering. See how the mind is chanchal, right? Right? Right?
Every time I also tell that students, बच्चों को लास्ट टाइम बताया था कौन सा कहाँ खत्म किया नहीं पता, कौन सा श्लोक सिखाया नहीं पता.
So here, yes, where the soul is dull. Ignorant people who engage in pious and impious activities should be engaged in devotional service by all means. They should always avoid fruitive activity. Don't do sinful activity nor do pious activity for sense gratification. If one puts into the bondage of karmic activity his disciple, son or citizen who is bereft of transcendental vision, how will one profit? It is like leading a blind man to a dark well and causing him to fall in. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita, na buddhi bhedam janayat agyanam karma sanginam joshayat sarva karmani vidvan yukta samacharan. Let not the wise disturb the minds of the ignorant who are attached to fruitive action. They should be encouraged not to refrain from work, but to work in the spirit of devotion. So how you guide somebody, right? How you, a child, a son, your son, disciple, or citizen. So we have seen step by step a system of varnashram. Okay, start by giving some donation, right? Okay, now this Ekadashi is coming. Observe Ekadashi. Or there's this festival. Observe this festival, right? So, have to find ways and means by which you can cajole somebody. Follow.
Nowadays, Purushottam month is going on.
Yeah.
So, more emphasis is given. Every time they tell that whenever you visit the temple, bring some flowers to Krishna, offer something.
Yes.
It is
Yes, yes, because we've stopped bringing or giving, right? So therefore, here's the opportunity, right? Right? See, Krishna has to invent so many ways, right? This vrat, that vrat, Kartik vrat, Purushottam vrat, Chaturmasya vrat. He has to find ways and means by which to catch the conditioned soul and make them do something, right? Abstain from certain sense gratification. But this usually, unless we have some sukriti, it's very difficult to do all this. We read in that 19th chapter. I'm reading now 19th chapter in Bharatvarsh. Bharatvarsh. So the devas are saying, how come you human beings, you are in Bharatvarsh, you have so much facility, so much opportunity to do devotional service. And in the purport, Prabhupada is saying that in Bharatvarsh, so many facilities, right? Let's just look, we're in Bombay, right? We're in Bombay. Everywhere somehow, see how the temple is packed, right? Temples are everywhere, temples are packed, right? And like practically every step that you take, there is a holy place. I heard Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came also on Juhu Beach. I heard he walked through, isn't?
From West Bengal, they traveled to the south, and again from south he went back to
Yeah.
West Bengal.
Yes. He passed through. You know? You move little bit, Nasik is right there, right?
Nasik.
Pandharpur is there, right? The river, Chandra Bhaga, right?
Chandrabhaga, yes.
Right? Every step, right? So this facility is there. Text 16. Loka swayam shreyasi nashtadrishtir yorthan samihe tanikama Anyonya vaira sukhalesha hetor ananta dukkham chana vedamudhaha. Due to ignorance, the materialistic person doesn't know anything about his real self-interest, the auspicious path in life. You know, how does a parent feel? How does a teacher, a spiritual master, or an enlightened king, how does he feel when he sees that this disciple, this son, this citizen doesn't know what is their self-interest? You know, just like sometimes you drag somebody to the doctor. You see the person is sick, right? You drag the person to the doctor. You get so much medicine and the person doesn't take. All of you know. Somehow or other you manage to drag the person, right? To the doctor. Got a diagnosis, got all the medicine, but the person doesn't want to take. Why? According to this verse.
Because he's conditioned.
According to this verse,
He doesn't understand that
what does he not know? Tell me from your book.
self
He doesn't know
that
what is his self-interest. He doesn't know what is his self-interest. Let me find. He doesn't know what is good for himself. You are feeling sorry and you are endeavoring, right, to help this person so that he can have a better material life also, right? Isn't it? The person doesn't think. He doesn't know what is his real self. He doesn't know his self-interest. So here, about spiritual life, his real self-interest, the auspicious path in life. He is simply bound to material enjoyment by lusty desires. Why is this person not ready to take the medicine?
Because
He's
he's bound by
simply bound by
Huh?
material enjoyment.
Yeah.
He's simply bound by material enjoyment.
I'm just asking practical questions. Why is it that you take somebody to the doctor, you bring so many medicine and he doesn't take? Why will he not take?
Because they want to get
Hmm?
cured.
He doesn't want to get cured?
no, it's not.
Sometimes maybe not having faith also, no, in the medicines, whether that medicine is going to really work for me.
All
Or
right.
rather, he could be so much having faith in Krishna that he is dependent that the
Well, this is not somebody who is highly advanced. We are just speaking of someone who is ignorant, a materialistic person, okay?
materialistic
Here that
not having faith in, not enough faith in the
yeah.
medicine.
Or because maybe the doctor say you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this. All right.
Yes.
Along with the medicine,
There
what?
comes a lot of instructions.
Doesn't like to follow.
Yes. Doesn't want to follow the diet, doesn't want to follow this, doesn't yeah. All right. You are here. See, anybody, any doctor who wants to be successful, a doctor, a genuine doctor, he's not here to sell you medicine, right? A genuine doctor, he wants to see you cured, right? How frustrating it is for him when he will give you, you know, the guideline and you are not ready to follow. Therefore, the medicine doesn't work.
Especially if you are taking Ayurvedic medicine. You take one medicine, you have to stop eating da 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 da. You take another medicine, रात का खाना बंद कर दो. You take, I mean, it's austere to go for Ayurveda.
Because it's yoga. I just heard now Prabhupada one lecture. He says, you want to be a yogi? You go, you know, you say, why do you go to do a yoga exercises? He said, to burn up your fat.
For the calories, yeah.
Right? He says, so why don't you live like a yogi? Why do you have to put in, you know, so much food in your body that it becomes fat in your body? Don't. And one thing he says, like a yogi, you don't eat too much, you don't eat less either, and you don't eat at night.
Actually, in Ayurveda, they detoxify the body. And night food actually, if not digested, becomes poison for us.
Yeah. So don't eat at night. It's a yogi. So because Ayurveda, it is for yogis, right? Those who are able to be self-controlled. So this is what Rishabdev is talking about. He is simply bound to material enjoyment by lusty desires. So when you give him a medicine, he says, oh, I have to give up so many other things. No, better I don't take. Let me enjoy life. And therefore, great danger is awaiting him. Right?
That's why people go for allopathic. No? Quick, you get quick results and you don't have to, literally make endeavor. How?
He is simply bound to material enjoyment by lusty desires, and all his plans are made for this purpose. My God, all his plans. I don't know, Rishabdev knows the world very well. Even we didn't know it. Now all his plans are made for this purpose. For temporary sense gratification, such a person creates, oh my God, such a person creates a society of envy. My God. And due to this mentality, he plunges into the ocean of suffering. Such a foolish person doesn't even know about this. Oh my God, that's what I was saying, right? That's what I was saying. Rishabdev knows better than us. Such a foolish person does not even know this, that what he's doing. Right? The word nashta drishti means one who has no eyes to see the future. Oh my God! Like, somebody comes. It's rainy season, right? So this devotee came to the temple. I said, "Oh, did you bring your umbrella?" "No, it wasn't raining when I came." Right? You know this? True? Oh my God. Nashta drishti. Wasn't raining when I came. The next moment it is pouring like anything. And what happens? And you get sick. I'm giving practical, everyday example. Unfortunately, I'm live many years now. And I'm saying it, I couldn't believe it. Couple of these devotees, who come to the service or whatever, it wasn't raining. So finally I keep one umbrella in my office. I'll say, go and take the umbrella. So you have to think for other people. The word nashta drishti means one who has no eyes to see the future is very significant in this verse. Life goes on from one body to another, and the activities performed in this life are enjoyed or suffered in the next life, if not later in this life. What I'm saying that just like we are living our life in a very irresponsible way, right? Similarly, a simple thing like not taking your medication because all the strings attached, right? You're not all the rules and regulations. And second, because you don't have the vision to see your future suffering, therefore you do not take precautions, right? Therefore, what happened? Similarly, we are careless about our future birth. Just live life, जो भी है चलता है.
Again, another this belief that we've not seen what's gonna either we get. There are so many people who say you have just one life. We don't know what happens. So जो करना है, everything is for enjoyment. Because the restrictions means enjoyment is good.
So therefore.
Standard answer, isn't it?
Yeah. So therefore, in one lifetime itself, you can observe the happiness and distress that happen in one life. I've just given the example. You don't take the medicine, you don't accept the restriction. What is the consequence? Further and further disease, right? So there's no need to speak of the next life. Well, if you have more drishti, right? You have more drishti, then you can see what's beyond the Himalayas, right? But at least within the boundaries of your world, right? Krishna has given all his, put everything in place so that you realize it, right? One who is unintelligent, who has no eyes to see the future, simply creates enmity and fights with others for sense gratification. As a result, one suffers in the next life. But due to being like a blind man, he continues to act in such a way that he suffers unlimitedly. Like I just saw, this whole war that's going on, Ukraine and Russia is going worse and worse and worse. And also, all those who have little sense saying, you have already killed so many people in both, just stop it, right?
And
Where are those two leaders going? Right? So where these two leaders are going, one who is unintelligent, who has no eyes to see the future, right? They've already lost.
But still
right?
he will not stop.
Both they have already lost. Simply creates enmity and fights with others for sense gratification. Why? Because I have to show that I am powerful. I will not give in. Sometime when you travel to Calcutta, to Mayapur. You have too heavy vehicle. You know this, Bengal, so risky.
On the way to Maya,
You have
National
to-
Highway 6.
you have too heavy vehicle, and sometimes it's like who will give way to who, and you know what they do? What do? They crush into each other because the other one doesn't want to give way. Right? If only I put down my false ego, I say save my life and save the other person's life. No. I'm giving, not afterward, I'm giving right now. Right? As a result, one suffers in the next life. But due to being like a blind man, he continues to act in such a way that he suffers unlimitedly. So for each and every life that has gone, right, through the whims of one or two leaders, for each and every life, how much they have to be killed? See, Kshatriya. What is a Kshatriya? Right? Kshatriya meaning that you fight with your equal. Alright? You fight with your equal. It's between two only. You have your army, but once that leader has defeated the other leader, either captured him or killed him, it's over. But now what do? They gather lakh and lakh of civilians. Right? Meaning that you are unlimited because you have not died. You follow what's happening? Because if the leader will die or get captured, war is over. Now, because you are hiding the two main heroes, or whatever you call them, opposite of heroes, right? Villains, okay. The two villains.
Putin is
right?
actually a villain. I think he's a Rakshas in a car.
So you put two opposite of heroes, they are hiding. But what are they doing? They're gathering all the others. So and they are unlimited, right? It's your whole population, right? Your male population. So the war never ends. So what happens to them? As a result, one how many times? What property? Unlimitedly. For each and every life suffering that you have caused to whole families, to the survivors, right? Suffering is unlimited. Why? Because he's blind. Such a person is a mudha, one who simply wastes his time and doesn't understand the Lord's devotional service. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Naham prakasha sarvasya yogamaya samavritah mudhoyam nabhijanati loko mam ajam avyayam. I am never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them I am covered by my eternal creative potency, Yogamaya. And so the deluded world knows me not, who am unborn and infallible. In the Kathopanishad it is also said, Avidyayam antare vartamanaha swayam dhira panditam manyamanaha. All the ignorant people still go to other blind men for leadership. As a result, both are subjected to miserable conditions. The blind lead the blind into the ditch. All right. The blind lead the blind into the ditch. So my God. So those who are, what's that? What's the word used? Nashta drishtir. Who has no eyes. Nashta drishtir. Like Dhritarashtra, no drishti, right? blind.
This is so intricate. There must be so many people in Ukraine who must be thinking that they have fallen into the hands of an idiot, but they have no escape. Death is inevitable for them.
Well, see, it's very complicated, as you are saying. Like here we are. As a result of doing so many things, one who is unintelligent, who has no eyes to see the future, simply creates enmity and fights with others for sense gratification. As a result, one suffers in the next life. But due to being a blind man, he continues to act in such a way that he suffers unlimitedly. Right? So who are we? We are suffering also, right? They are suffering there, we are also suffering, right? Since so many lifetimes, people are suffering. Why? Because of being blind and not engaging in devotional service. Right? So therefore, very lucky those who hear about Krishna. Extremely lucky. Okay, we should stop. Oh my God, we're late. All right. Yeah.
Time flies.
Okay, let's just do this last verse.
Yes.
Kastam swayam tad abhigya vipaschit avidhyayam antare vartamanam drishva punastam sagrina kubuddhim prayojuyat. Oh my God, I'm not seeing anything. Okay. If someone is ignorant and addicted to the path of samsara, just see what word is used here. Someone is ignorant and addicted to the path of, meaning willingly. Addicted meaning willingly. He's addicted to the path of samsara. How can one who is actually learned, merciful and advanced in spiritual knowledge engage him in fruitive activity and thus further entangle him in material existence? If a blind man is walking down the wrong path, how can a gentleman allow him to continue on his way to danger? How can he approve his method? No wise or kind man can allow this. Right? So if you have some intelligence, right, some knowledge, so Rishabdev is saying, if you are a father, if you are a spiritual master, if you are a king and you are not unintelligent, right, you are not blind, right, how can you allow others who are ignorant, how can you allow them to tread the path of inauspiciousness? Right? So this is extremely instructive. Very practical. Yeah, so text 18 will be next week, which is very huge. Our Guru na sasyat. So, right. Swajano na sasyat. It's leading to that verse now. So which we'll discuss next week. So great responsibility. So this unintelligent, I was just watching this documentary I was speaking about Oppenheimer, who created that atomic bomb, right? So I think I mentioned that to some of you. So he actually didn't know what he was doing. Only, like we say, scientists are fascinated by material nature, right? Fascinated by material nature. Somebody who is nashta drishti, right? Right? Yeah, now we know, right? Nashta drishti, who doesn't see the future, right? Put that in his brain that you must fabricate a bomb. And why? If you don't do it, then the other party will do it. So before they do it, you have to do it. Alright? I'm speaking about unintelligent. So the scientists are supposed to be super intelligent. But here we know they are unintelligent. He didn't know what he was doing. And it was top secret. Even the one next to the president didn't know. Can you imagine? Only one person, that one great hero who wanted that bomb to be made and released. He was the only one who knew. So when this scientist, he did a check, right? Try it. He went to Mexico, he released that bomb. When he saw that, what he has produced, he has, manipulated the laws of nature, right? He has broken that atom. I don't know what all stuff is, how it happens. He has actually broken an atom and released super energy, like Ashwatthama, right? So, when he released that, like a child who didn't know what he was doing, he was so shocked and recited this verse, I am destroyer of the worlds, from Bhagavad Gita. Because Krishna says, right, the universal form, how that light flashed out. So that bomb was like that flash. He just saw that, he was shocked. What has he done? An intelligent scientist manipulated by a superhero who wanted to fight against another country. Alright? So they released that bomb. Okay? It was done. One place, still that country didn't surrender. Unintelligent, right? Didn't surrender. Second place, when it happened, then intelligence kicked in. He immediately surrendered. He